You live, you learn, you cry, you earn, you live, you learn. G'day guys. Hope we're all having a good day. The beautiful smell of sunscreen. What an absolute treat. Bit more. Sun's out, it's under a few clouds, but it might get pretty hot. So we'll see. Oh yeah. See, I had white paint in my ear on one of the reels, and I thought it was white paint. Turned out it was sunscreen. So it's easy to get the two confused. When they're in the bottle, it's very obvious. Once they're out of the bottle, it's really any man's guess. All right. Cool, clear water. So today's a bit of fun, and the reason today's a bit of fun is, hey Jackson, hey Victoria, how you doing? Is we're doing an interesting coat. We've got a lot of saturated popping colours, probably the correct colours that we want, and it's really defining the space around the little Prince of Siam. But what we need now is the darker areas to become more dark, to really pull in depth to the image and take control of it. A few of these areas around the body, they're grey, but in the picture, they're black, and so we need to make that change. And then there's a lot of gold tints, bronze tints, and gold iridescent areas that will start to make pop. Anything happening for Mother's Day? Well, I messaged my mum at 12:30, so 30 minutes into Mother's Day, 27 minutes into Mother's Day this morning, and then I'll give her a call sometime after lunch will be the plan. So we're in a good spot. Hey Steve, how you doing? Good to see ya. Good to see ya. Happy Mother's Day to everyone. Happy Mother's Day to the mothers, and happy Father's Day to the fathers who've been the mums. Well, then you'd be the mother. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Parents' Day. All the things. Here we go. So, the key right now is going to be to use these darker colours, and really, probably the best word for it is to embolden the blacks in it. Let them take control of the picture more than they should. You saw that picture, Victoria? That's fantastic. Yeah, so the one on the far right, the biggest boy, he's my youngest brother. And then I've got an older brother, so I'm the middle child. And then mum and dad. And that's the whole family. You live, you learn, you cry, you earn, you live, you learn. Yeah, it is. It'll need a lot more layers. So to kick off with here, it'll look very fast like it's finished, but actually there's more depth we need to build into it. Sometimes the most simplistic images actually require the most attention because there's so many little areas to be captured to really create the essence of the person we're trying to capture. So piece by piece, bit by bit, that's the plan. But like I say, emboldening these darker areas, I really want to make them pop. If there's one thing we want when I'm finished this, it wants to be about, dare I say it, 50% darker overall, on average, the whole picture. And what that's going to mean is that I can come back with those popping colours again, and then just get things exactly where I want them. Typically for the proportions at the moment, in the face and the body, this shoulder will come in a little bit. It's already trying to here, so this part here is going to disappear. The curtains are in a great place, the head's perfect. I'm liking where it's sitting, but it's just those smaller details, the hair around the ears, the eyebrows, the this and the that you just want to pull in just that little bit, because it's not so much about the overall picture being in the right place that captures the essence of someone's identity. It's those little bits that we recognize, where the hair actually starts and stops, the way their clothes actually crinkle, the way they hold themselves and their shoulders go, all these little things, that's what we can capture. And that's what we're after. And hello, Cobb, good to see you. And how do you not get paint on yourself? Look, I do sometimes. I've got a reel at the moment where I completely ruined a shirt, but I haven't posted it yet. But probably tomorrow morning? Tomorrow morning? Possibly. But sometimes I do ruin clothes. I really like this shirt. I got this shirt for $1 from an op shop, so I've fallen in love with it. And have you ever made any other creator friends on TikTok? I'll get on to that. First off, the shirt was $1 and I'm in love with it. I'm not sure what brand it is, but it's a little apple and I love the apple. So that's where we're at. And in terms of creator friends, yeah, I've got a few. I think not so much creators, but I've got friends that I've connected with, like people who... I probably have more friends who aren't creators from TikTok, who you'll just talk to, engage with. Maybe they've got artwork, maybe they're mods, part of the stream, in all sorts of different ways. I think you just naturally gravitate to people that you like. This is not conventional black either. This is not carbon black. Carbon's black. This is Mars black. So Mars black's softer. Mars black is like a burnt amber or a Serena kind of black. Serena? Is that the right word? No. I've forgotten the word for it right now, but it's out there. What's the reference for this one? I don't think I've seen it. I'll show you. Come with me. This is our reference. So this is the Little Prince of Siam. So the Little Prince of Siam, he's not the actual Prince of Siam, but it's a very, very nice name. And we're around a lot of amazing iconography that sums up this part of the world. And so part of what we want to capture here, and what this picture is going to allow us to capture, is that not only do we want to be able to recognize the character from the face and the body posture, and so the face and body posture that would tell you that that's this person, but we need to be able to recognize whereabouts in the world or what sort of environment this is from the iconography that's scattered around the image. So usually we have a background. Thank you very much for pointing that out though. You do need sunscreen. So whereas a usual image we have background like a forest or a desert that we try and actually embellish with properties that complement the figure, with the Little Prince of Siam, all around him, on the carpet, on these cabinets, on the things on the cabinets, on the curtains, everything is a form of iconography that we can embellish. Earlier today I was wondering why I haven't seen you. Yeah, so I'm in bad reception, so I've been prioritizing reels, and I've got a couple. I can't wait to post them for you, but yeah, I'm glad at the moment because I've actually found out I'm down at the I'm here in Auckland. I found a lovely little spot that's got 5G and wonderful fresh air, so we might be here more often. Anyway, I was saying, sorry, the iconography around the Little Prince of Siam should be the dead giveaway, and we need to really concentrate on that as much as the character, because what's going to happen is if we covered the character, the background should still insinuate what we're trying to represent. That's the plan anyway. And it's good to have a plan. I think we'll stick to it because it's a very, very compelling plan, and this iconography in the background is absolutely beautiful. But at the moment, the first thing we need to do is just capture all of these dark areas, really deepen them on top of these popping colors. We need these dark areas to become very, very prevalent. And then we can bring back the popping colors. But the darkness needs to come into it. Hello, Angel, how we doing? Fail to plan, then you plan to fail. That's a very clever saying. But typically, I find you should always have a plan, but don't be afraid to immediately fall on plan B, make a new plan on the fly, change things, because a plan can be the greatest catalyst for success, but also the biggest assurance of your failure. So make sure that you're always reviewing the plan and you're ready to change it, because I think some of the biggest defeats that people have faced, artists as well, have been having a plan and not seeing the writing on the wall when the plan needs to change. And halfway through a painting, you may stand back and look at it and realize the plan you started that painting with is no longer the thing that'll bring you to the end of the painting with the same level of success. So, plan. Definitely plan. But the plan is not fact. Change it, play with it. When it comes to life as well, you can get so hung up on having a plan. I had such a plan for my life, and it doesn't go exactly like that. And you'll resent yourself or anything that stopped you from being able to reach the perfect plan that you had arranged in your mind. And that's ridiculous. So, in that same sense, in painting and in life, you need a plan that can fluctuate, change, develop with you. I suppose full sun is hard though. Overcast looks best. I like a bit of full sun. I like the way the sun chops and changes, actually, to be honest, because it changes the perspective on the art. If it's just one light the whole time, overcast, you'll try and adjust the light accordingly on your brush to cater for it. But if there's multiple lights coming at it from different direction each time, you won't overcorrect for something. You'll be constantly readjusting in a way that'll give the painting better balance. You lose control, definitely. You lose a lot of control. My morning's going great, thanks for asking. You relinquish a lot of control when you go into an environment where the light's not consistent, absolutely. But it is so worth it, because that lack of control might be just what you need to shake up the picture you're working on. When I find I'm heading into a rut, getting stuck on the same strokes, getting stuck on the same paintings, not adding the energy to the paintings that I feel like I should be, what I need to do is to go into an environment not where I have more control, but where I have less of it, because that will result. My son, oh, perfect. Hello to the little Prince of Siam. It is an absolute honour to have you here, and a pleasure to paint you. I'm just making sure I don't miss any of that message. That's brilliant. Well, we've got a lot more coats to go on this. Prince, if you were here at the start, I was just saying we're deepening the blacks, and the most important part about this picture isn't just going to be the character, but also the areas around you that construct the place that you're in. The headpiece you're wearing, the clothes that you're wearing, the cabinets behind you, the carpet, and the things on top of the cabinets, even the curtains. All these things will form the picture that makes this special. So to embellish that correctly, we've added saturated colours on first, so you'll see the image, but the next stage is to add more blacks and deepen those areas so these objects don't just sit assortedly around you, they sit behind you with depth and presence. That's what I want. And so that's why we're going to keep coming back to black. Not in an intense, darkening way, in a adding depth and emboldening kind of way. Is emboldening a word? If it's not, let's make it a word, because it fits exactly what I'm trying to say. And the key here is going to be, after this coat, when I come back with those popping reds and purples and greens and magentas through this pants area, and these little intricate bits of detail down here in this carpet, when I come back to these areas and keep on adding them in a way that makes all these little bits of iconography suddenly go pop. Here we are in this part of the world doing this. So that's very exciting. I love that. I love Laos. I love Thailand. I love one of the greatest places in the world. If you ever get the chance to visit it, is Phuket, not Phuket, sorry, although Phuket is amazing, it's Angkor Wat. I can't say enough about how amazing Angkor Wat is. Angkor Wat is absolutely incredible. I think it's even, if it's not, it should be, but one of the wonders of the world. Angkor Wat is the sort of place that you just go to and marvel. I mean, I've been to Borobudur in Java, Indonesia, to the biggest, I think it's the biggest Buddhist temple in the world. And I've been to Angkor Wat, and Angkor Wat still is a place that blows my mind. Absolutely blows my mind. How long have I been painting for? Ooh, a good long time. I've been painting ever since I was a little tacker. And I was very, very lucky when I was younger that my mother noticed I was creative and put supplies like painting tools, clay, textiles. She put these things into my hands that allowed me to actually pursue creativity, both in and outside of school. So I've got a lot to thank my mother for. In that sense, happy Mother's Day, Mum. Thank you for being a giant influence on my creativity. And if I hadn't had a mother who pushed me into art so hard, in my later high school years, I wouldn't have done so many art subjects. So I was one of the unusual kids that did 4 art subjects, which was usually we were only recommended to do 2. So I was doing double what we should have been doing. And we even started a sculpture class that had never been done at our high school because we wanted to do sculpture. Now, I would not have been emboldened or had the courage to do things like that had it not been for a mother constantly telling me that this is something I should be doing. So, very, very important. Oh, you're very, very welcome. You're very welcome. Cheers, Steve. My family wasn't artists, but I think that actually helped a lot because that meant my mother carved out a new and different path to make it happen. And my father helped as well. My father is a man's man, he's a farmer, and he was always very much so, pursue what makes you happy. But in that same thread, pursue it with reckless abandon. Don't compromise, go for it. Actually, we used to live down at the beach when I was a kid, in a little rental home. And when we were at the beach, there were these glass panels out on the deck. And so we'd get very, very cheap acrylic paint, and I would paint all over those during the day. And then at night, before the sun went down, my mother would come out with a hose, and it would all just be gone. And the next day I'd come out and do it all again. And that was just, yeah. I guess that's actually, looking at it now, probably where I learnt that it was just about making the art. It had nothing to do with finishing it and putting it on the fridge. It was just, I enjoyed painting these glass panels, and kids would come over and love it as well. And it was just what we did. And I think that instilled in me for a young age that actually, that's what matters, making the art. We had besides all the art I did make, very little of it actually ended up on the fridge. My parents were always so excited that I was making the art and less excited about what got made. And I think that actually, I think a lot of us go through life hoping someone will acknowledge our art or our craft and get excited about what we make. But looking back on it, I don't ever remember my parents being overly excited for anything I made. But they got so excited that I was making it. They'd say, come on out to the dining room table. Come make it out here. Come make it in front of everyone. Come, don't hide away when you do it. You know, let's bring creativity to the forefront. And who cares what you actually made? Who cares? Yeah. Sometimes I tell stories about things I used to make with Lego, giant creations, and I'd name them and I'd do all sorts of things. But we don't have pictures of the creation. No one cared. All we cared was that it was being made. No, what medium? Oh, yes, hello, Live Life in Colour. Great name, by the way. So this is acrylic paints, and you've heard me say it before, I'll say it again. This is acrylic paints, but they'll look like oils, and I add compounds into the acrylic paints to make it behave like oils. But I want the dry times and the way acrylics work. You can add more stuff to acrylics, more stuff to play with it, more stuff to change it, adapt it. I personally find them better. I say better for me. I shouldn't say better. I was always die-hard oils. I loved oils. I'd live and die by oils. I thought they were just the only thing you could be using. But you know what? I was wrong. I was so hard up on what I thought was correct because I'd read books and I'd listened to podcasts and I'd heard from masters that this is what you're supposed to be using. And only once I opened my mind up to it and thought, actually, is this true, or is this just something I've decided is the case because I've been told it? And upon some research, I realised, hey Sip, thanks, cop. So if you want paint me like one of your French girls on a t-shirt, it's said so often, you can actually get one from the merch store. So that and hydrate. Now, I've been very naughty here, guys, because I don't actually have a water bottle with me. But please, please, please don't follow my bad example. If you're out there somewhere in the world right now and you've got access to water, you should drink it. And since I don't have any water, drink it for me. Drink it for me. At this point, I'd love to. Actually, if you saw my story the other day, the painting of the two surfers and the two kids saying, that's awesome. That's Timmy. And Timmy is a fantastic friend who I went to summer camp with. He was my boss at summer camp. And hopefully, I'm going to head down there and we'll do some paintings in some very bizarre places in Queenstown. I can't wait. So that's on the way. Hey, how you doing? That's good.
Oh.
Hey, I love your flowers.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Oh, that's awesome.
It's a good day for it, eh?
Yeah.
Well, I reckon I might. It's such a great spot and there's such great reception.
There's another guy comes in, does his photography.
Yeah?
On certain days with the sunset
Oh, maybe I'll run into him.
See, and another thing you can do is go on the rock wall as well.
That's the best place to go, eh?
You'll love it. It's quiet.
I was a bit lazy at the moment, but I'll tell you what, next time I'll go out to that rock wall.
Just park on the white lines.
Yeah.
These ones here are $20 an hour.
Yeah.
But they've all got permits on their cars.
Perfect.
The yellow ones for the guests, but the white ones out there are all free.
The white ones.
Yeah.
I'll come early, I reckon, when the sun's over there rising.
When you park,
Yeah.
you can park where the club is. It's all free parking.
Perfect. All right. And there's such great coffee downstairs too.
Yeah, that's good. You should tell them.
I did. Yeah.
I won't hold you up.
Hey, thank you very much.
That's all right.
I'll see you later on.
Okay.
Okay, bye for now. Oh, thanks, Angel. Appreciate that. And hey, Lizzie, how you doing? No golden retrievers here at the moment, but Barnaby and Chase are back at the house. I'll be hanging out with them tonight. And if you're wondering, you just got a taste. I was just talking to New Zealand security. So I'm in the parking lot of a marine reserve, and I was just approached by security. So if you're wondering what New Zealand security is like, they're extremely friendly, they're very nice, and they like random artists hanging out in their parking lot. So that's the, the only people on the face of the planet who are nicer than New Zealand security is American park rangers. I have never gone through a national park and felt more at home and more loved than I have through America. As soon as they hear the accent, the Kiwi accent, they immediately, they start the conversation, they yarn to you, they tell you the best places to go, what walks to do, what campgrounds are most full, what ones have the most space, everything to do. So you've got to fall in love with that. And the dogs are not here right now, sadly. They are back at the house. But I'll be back there about just before 5. And I'll look after them. And I'll look after them. So these, at the moment, if you notice what's happening, a little bit of iridescent gold to hang out underneath these layers. Just sitting on top of that black. So that black's already dried, which is pretty fun. Because of the wind, because of the heat, this is going to dry very, very fast. I think you have an incomprehensible... Oh, thank you very much. Not incomprehensible, though. I think one of the biggest wake-up calls for me, I thought art was very cryptic, or it was something that did require 3-syllable words in a confusing way to actually understand. Yes, actually, I got scholarships to go to university on sculpture, not for painting. Wild. I was a painter, but my sculpture board was so out there that I actually got most of my scholarship came from sculpture. So, but painting's my bread and butter. But like I tell you the story about how I controlled my painting too much when I started out, and I saw sculpture as my release, as a thing I'd actually have fun with. And so the result was my sculpture was moving and amazing and game-changing, and my painting was just a fancy craft. And people already knew that from high school. And so once I actually realized to take my philosophy towards sculpture and move it into painting, that's when my painting went to another level. But until then, I was stuck in a rut. Pity I'm Australia. I'm further than Australia. This is New Zealand. This is New Zealand. I forgot what I was saying there. I had a trail of thought, but I lost it. Boots. Yeah, Victoria's onto it. What was I saying? Something about something. I forget. Oh, exciting news though. I was going to post a reel on it. I posted a few little story bits. Mahalo prints are available, and they're actually going pretty fast. And so there's 30 total, 5 A1s, 10 A2s, and 15 A3s. So if you want one, get in and grab one. I think they're fantastic. And the reason I love prints is it puts the pleasure of art and the experience of art and the feelings it can evoke into more hands, instead of only giving it to one person where they can show their friends and have it in their homes. But if you can reach 31 people, be it the original, I think there's something special to that. I think there's something compelling. That's just how I feel. I'd like to see art in as many people's hands as possible. I'd like to see, I'd like this, I'd like that. Shut up, Seb. I'd just like to see as many people happy as possible. And honestly, guys, I think this stream, hanging out here live, I think this is, since I was going to be painting anyway, one of the best ways to make people happy. Well, Steve, that's the wild thing. What did Seb do for sculpture? So I've worked with a bit of clay, but Seb's sculptures were actually, get this, performance art. So performance art involved people. I'd arrange people in different ways, doing different things, and you would sometimes 2 people, sometimes 8 people, sometimes 20, 40, 60. The most people I arranged at one time was like 90. And I'd arrange them in ways where you'd be given instructions to grab the left person's forearm or hold the next person's shoulder. And with these instructions, everyone would do the same movement. And what would happen is, through the synchronization of these movements, there would be a emergence factor. So that's when the parts of the many, the whole becomes more than the individual parts that made it. And so when you get 60 people all given a specific set of instructions, who when they initiate it, you make something entirely new and beautiful, something almost with a pattern or with a beauty to it, that wasn't choreographed other than the instructions you gave each individual person to conduct themselves with. And then we'd take photos of it. And with those photos, that would be not the art, but the proof that the art occurred. So that was the performance art that I did. And it was quite innovative at the time for me because I always saw art as something that needed a result. But with performance art, it didn't need a result. It needed to happen. And what became the most important factor was making the art happen. How are you going to do it? What instructions do you give each person? And the trick was to actually be able to give one instruction that's the same for everyone to get a result that would be unexpected. Hello from Northern Ireland. Welcome, you little 1 a.m. warrior, you. Welcome on board. I hope you're looking after yourself. And it is absolutely lovely to have you here. What an absolute pleasure, Northern Ireland. I've got a friend from Northern Ireland. His name's Johnny. Johnny is an absolute champion. I haven't spoken to him in a while, but he's a collector from Ireland, and he's a farmer, or he lives on a farm out there. And yeah, great guy, great guy. See, that's been part of the fun too on this. When you talk about what inspires you, we always think that something. We always think of inspiration as something that will come from an internal motivator. That you'll have a good quote, and that will actually give you the daily motivation to pursue your craft. And this is maybe, but not for me. Typically, it's the people you come across that you learn from, that you hear from, that tell you their stories, that tell you what they feel about your artwork. These stories, these moments, this stuff, that's what inspires you. And so, in a weird way, I think it's more the journey that inspires you than it is anything to do with a select group of words. You can have a select group of words on a journey, but the journey itself is the beautiful thing. The process, the doing, the hammer meeting the anvil. I love that analogy. When the hammer meets the anvil. Because when the hammer meets the anvil, it's so raw, it's so descriptive in the way that it says, this is the moment, this is what matters. Let's talk about that. I love that. I love that. In Laguna Beach, California, every year they have a pageant of the masters like that. You'd love it. I would love that. I would love that. Pageant of the masters. The other thing I love too is that art can go into unorthodox places. Art doesn't have to be in a gallery. I find that art in a gallery is almost the hardest place, or for me personally, to appreciate art. Art out there in the world, I mean, graffiti art that Banksy was doing, or that, who else? Banksy or any graffiti artist was doing for a long time, was really moving, game-changing in fact, to have it on the street, that regular people going about their regular business on a regular day could see art and be moved by art. This was a game changer. But now, I think coming across art, stumbling across it in a home, in an office, not just art like a picture of a swan, but art, something primal, something real, something raw, something that you can point at and say, by looking at that, I feel something. That's powerful. I think we're so inclined these days to hide our feelings, to not be honest with how we actually, what moves us and what makes us feel. If we were talking with friends or colleagues, do we have the confidence to say to them, here is something that I find moves me, that I find changes me just by being in the presence of it? We're not brave enough. Heck, for a lot of my life, I haven't been brave enough. And so having the courage to actually look at art and say to someone, this piece of art makes me a little bit happier every day or invigorates me. That's a powerful statement to make. It's a bold statement. That's a statement only a bold person makes. And the coolest thing is, no one can tell you what art should do that to you. Only you can find that art. is well-known graffiti artist in San Francisco. Oh, fantastic. Steve, you've got to send me his name or some of his work. I'd love to see it. So, yeah. So, what was I saying there? Yeah, trust your taste. The cool thing is about taste is you'll develop your own taste, but only through believing in your taste can you develop it. You can't think, I'll just slowly learn how to get some taste. And once I've got taste, I'll start buying some art, or I'll start appreciating art, or going to galleries and finding art I like. Only by actually using your taste can you develop it. You can't read a cookbook and learn how to taste food as such. You need to taste it. You need to drink the wine, swirl it in your mouth, and then get told what's important to look for. But the taste has to come before the lesson. That's so cheesy. Well, you know what? If it's cheesy, it's probably true. Here we go. So we're not quite finished yet. We still need more black. Still more black. As an artist, I think my creativity is not improving. And I get frustrated almost there. Hold on. Recently, thoughts. Yeah, I do have thoughts. So if you feel like you're not improving and you feel like you're stuck in a rut, first off, there's two things you can do. Once you're in a rut, it's actually one of the hardest times to deal with it. So the best way to deal with ruts is to have a preventative approach. I know this isn't helping you right now, but for next time, preventative approach. And I say preventative approach because what you can do is figure out the tools to help you out of ruts before you get into one. Music, a playlist, friends, walks. What helps? And then the other thing is once you're in one, change the environment. Lose control over the place you paint in. Go to, hey Sergeant, go to a place you don't normally work at. Go to a new environment you don't have control over. Hey guys, how you doing?
Say hi.
Hey.
You like the painting, Mark?
What do you think? Can you see the picture?
Does it look like that?
We've got a long way to go, but we're slowly getting there.
Wow.
This kid's called the Prince of Siam.
Siam doesn't exist anymore. Enjoy.
Cheers, guys. Catch you later. Enjoy the sun. One thing you'll oh, all right. We'll see you later. Thanks for coming along. Also, I'll say, if you are in a rut, if you've got artwork all through your studio, sometimes artwork can be the biggest inspiration, but other times it can be the thing that holds you back. Ideas or thoughts that actually are no longer helping you are intrinsically developed inside those pictures. Maybe you need a fresh start, a fresh canvas, and maybe you need to go back to not thinking about what result you can make from a start, but actually what journey you're supposed to be going on. Because if you're in a rut, you've stopped moving, and if you're not moving, you're not on a journey. And so sometimes it's good to start a picture that you can't keep. Sometimes that means do it on something you can't have, like a wall somewhere, something you graffiti, something you can't have, something that you can't take with you, or do it on a board that you've definitely resigned yourself to destroy after you finish it. This is the place to put art on, because if you put art in these places, what's going to happen is you won't be able to keep it or value it afterwards, and therefore all your value is going to go on the journey. That's where it needs to go. And once you focus completely on getting there, you'll get there. Just don't focus on where there is. There we go. So you'll start to see, especially in this corner here, the gold start to pop out. I'm missing a few of these things. Actually, Copa's different medium. Yes, perfect. Swap off the medium. Yep, I like that. However you do it, change things up. If you're in a rut, there's no point staying in the same spot spinning your wheels. Change it up. Try something new. Swap things. I love that. I love that. Swap to watercolor. Big fan. Big fan. It's warm and windy right now. Yes, indeed. People in New Zealand are so friendly. They are. They are. But at the end of the day, they've got all the opportunity to be as well. And the reason why is because we're currently out here in the sun. We're painting. We're in a lovely environment. No one's got a reason to be unhappy. Like, about what? As happy as an American park ranger. That should be a saying, because man, those men are happy. Men and women are happy. Incredible people. Just incredible. There we go. This little arm's coming into proportion just right. There we are. There we go. So it's just starting to hit the right spot now. That arm is just where we want it. The colours aren't emboldened yet, but the proportions are landing in just about the right spot. And hello, E. No, you're fine, you're fine. We're making good ground here. We're nowhere near concluding, but we're making good ground. Yeah, I love where the colour palette's sitting, but the key to this is going to be to bring in more blacks, go back to saturated colour, bring in more whites, go back to saturated colour, and so on and so forth. And slowly, slowly pull things where we want them to go. The face itself, out of the whole work, has had the least amount of attention. That's not because we're avoiding it. Well, we have avoided it, but not because we have done anything wrong yet. The reason we've avoided it is because the colours in the face are so light. And so far, we've worked predominantly in the dark, saturated colours. So now, as I go into the whites, as I go into the tans and those bronzes in a lighter sense, that's when we'll start to see more layers go into the face. But every colour we've used around here, save for a bit of white we added in here yesterday, nothing belonged in the face. So, time can get taken. It's absolutely fine. Now, let's grab where are you hiding? Here we go. Clear paint medium. This is what we're after. A little bit of this. T-shirt can go in the box here. And then we are going to go with our Indian yellow into our clear painting medium with a little bit of white. This white is going to make it, yeah, there we go. Pastel yellow. That's the colour we're after. That's the colour I want. I'm going to let this just play over the surface of the painting. Spin this around a little bit to face me. There we go. Beautiful. This colour's so poppy. It's everything we want with that gold, because it's going to sit with the gold in a way that's going to say to the gold, you're not isolated on your own, have a friend. It may not be a gold friend, but it's a complementary friend. Because if you're gold, one thing that can happen is you can get quite lonely. Sounds cheesy, but gold doesn't complement many colours. And so gold actually, though it has some of the most pop out of all the colours, it's the most lonely. And so we want to make sure it feels included in this picture. Sounds cheesy, but that's really important. We don't want colours isolated on their own. There we go, and just a little bit more through here. This is going to connect the gold into the work. This is the bridging point. This colour is the bridging gap between the gold and the white. So it plays a really significant role. Hey guys, how we doing? That's good. Here we go. This is the first. Yeah, indeed. It's a little prince.
A little prince. Where is she? See the picture? And the artist is copying
Can you see the prints?
Good artist, aren't you? What do you think the prince's name is? Larry.
Larry's the name of the prince. This is the little Prince of Siam. It's a lovely day for a walk, isn't it?
It's a lovely day to be out here painting.
It is indeed. Just the right weather for it.
You'll be painting a yacht, but you're painting fun.
No, there's so many yachts, isn't there, though? I probably should be. But anyway. Are you an artist, are you? That's pretty exciting. Here we go. Hello, Matt. Thank you very much. So this is good. We're still in the abstract stages of the painting, been a bit wild, been a bit crazy with it. But what's really fun is strangers coming by, lovely people, starting to spot that we've got a prince. So we're not there yet, but we're on the right track, which is wild and pretty fun. Yeah, so previously before the yellow, we had dark areas with gold highlights and white. And now the yellow is going to come in there and create a bridging gap. It's going to say these aren't walls between these colours. They're working as a team. And so this yellow is fundamental, and it's been mixed very carefully from yellow, Indian yellow and titanium white with the gloss gel to make it shiny, to be perfectly complementary into those golds. It sounds super fancy. It's sort of not. It's sort of the same as a builder saying use this kind of screw to go into this hole, to do this, to do that, to hammer this nail into that fence. It's utility. In terms of the effect it creates. But the goal behind it, we've got to make that gold feel like it's part of the image. Not like it's an embellishment on top of an image. Feel like a part of it. So important. Like including every kid in a sports team. Thanks, eh? This is a commission. It's not going to become available. But very fun painting. G'day, mate. Yeah, of course you can. How you doing?
I didn't know if you were going live or something. I just thought, wow, that's so cool. I have to come and see you.
Yeah.
Hey, that's even cooler.
Jeebus, you're the one who's cool. Look at that gizmo.
Yeah, no, this is just a bit of fun, eh?
Yeah, that's handy.
Really so good.
Hey, thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Yeah, cool. What a great spot.
Oh, fantastic. Next time I have to go out to the pier there, but I didn't want to walk out there with all the gear, but I'll get it better packed next time, and that's the place to go.
Yeah.
So, next time.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Hey, thank you so much.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
So, New Zealanders are lovely. I love how the accent jumps out when he's around the fellow kid. Yeah, I suppose it does, Victoria. I can't help it. When I go to America, I definitely get a bit of an American accent as well. I can't help it. It only happens in America or in New Zealand that it comes stronger. If I'm in any other country, it just goes normal. But in these two countries, it just pops. And you send me into the south of New Zealand, whoo-hoo, you're going to hear some rolling R's. I can tell you that for free. Oh, that's fun, Victoria. All right, let's keep going here. Now, this colour isn't the only pop we're going to add. This colour is the current pop, so it's going to create the bridging gap, but there's multiple hues. When I say hues, there's colours of blue that will add on a transparent medium through it over the top of the yellows as well. It's not going to turn it green, but it's going to add more fun without altering the tone. If you just use yellow to capture yellow, you won't have yellow. When you look up at the sky and see blue, it's not just blue. Look more carefully. See reds, see greens, see yellows, see everything that makes up the sky. There's so much. And so that's why we add the transparent gel through it. And then continue to embellish these colours. There we go. Just a bit of wind going around at the moment. I might just peg us a little bit tighter.
Yeah, so it's, you know, it's a work in progress, and whether I stick it out or not, I don't know. Well, I'm a bit like that, you know, kind of like, I ended up trying to...
There we go. Perfect. Thank you, Globetrotter, for the... Oh, thanks, Globetrotter. You absolute champion. All right, how are we sitting? Yeah, look, guys, we're in a great position at the moment. The next thing to do after this layer will be to come in with a bunch of the purples, 3 different shades of purples, and embellish these areas through here. And then a deep dark red to fill out that ground. The temptation is to get in there now, and we will a little bit with some bronze and black. But this is a deep crimson floor. Even though the temptation is to paint it a deep dark black, it wouldn't be 100% right to do so. Here we go. This is the yoga rug. Big fan of the spot. I've got a big soft spot for this yoga rug. There we go. And then this comes over here. Fantastic. And then there's a little bit of a leg down there. Cool, cool, cool. And then these curtains, they got a bit more through them, but I don't want to overdo it. I need more transparency gel through before I attack them with too much yellow. And then bronze is going to trump the yellow, so I can mix that straight onto the brush. We're going to grab some more of that. We're going to grab some more of that clear painting medium. Here we go. Are you at the beach? I am at the beach. Well, at the sea. I see Evan Derkson's name. Hello, welcome. Just going to grab this bronze. There's the transparency gel through it, and let's just expand it out a little bit through here. Easy area to ignore. We're not going to ignore it. Just like this. These corners down here, if we ignore these, the whole picture falls apart. We need as much detail down on this carpet and the corners of the carpet, embellishing it and building it as we put into the little Princess Siam's face. If we don't do that, we won't keep the attention on the picture. We'll lose it. Because we're given 4 corners to work with. So we have to work to all 4 corners. If the paintings were the exact shape of the little Princess Siam, then we could easily ignore the corners. But it's not. The painting's a rectangle. And so every single corner of that rectangle gets as much attention as every single other square inch of it. Because that's fair. There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful. A little bit more of that black. We've almost used up all of our Mars black, which is a fantastic achievement because I grabbed a lot of it. And I was nervous at adding so much in. I was worried that if I did so, I'd ruin the work in some way. But we managed to make sure we added into all the right spots. So that's been very relieving. Let's grab this. If I angle it back a little bit, hopefully that hasn't affected your view. Oh, you still got your view there, that's handy. Yeah. There we go. Has that still got the light on it though, team? Should I spin around to there? I think I need to spin around a little bit. There we go. I'll just move you guys around a little bit too. If I move you to here, is what we'll have to do. Just gotta make sure we stay still. 1 second. Here we go. That won't blow over now. If I come to grab you, expand out this. Here we go. Don't fall over, guys. Just relax. Just relax. There we go. I'm going to put you here. And then I'm going to grab this. Straighten this up. There we go. Now we're talking. Here we go. And this can come to here. How are we doing there? Much better. Getting all the light now. That's what we're after. I'm going to spin you this way just a little bit, team. Bear with me. There we go. A little bit more spin. There we go. I think we're in the right position there. Almost. A little bit round. A little bit round. There, here we go. Perfect. Where are we sitting? In all the right places. Looking good. I'm happy. You guys happy? Hopefully you're happy. Right. There we go. Adding a little bit of that yellow into the black now. This is going to give me a murkier tone as well. I'm just going to use this to complement some of those areas where we didn't add the yellows in, but still want to have the essence of the yellow inside those darker areas. There we go. Just touches. Not a whole lot, never has to be a whole lot. And you can open up with a colour or start on a trajectory or have a plan, like with this little colour we're using now. And then, after 2 strokes, we can throw that plan in the bin and be like, no, that's not the go anymore. It's not where I'm at. Just a little bit more of that black, just a little bit. Got to make sure I don't get excited though. Here we go. We're going to pause there on our little Prince of Siam. And what I'm going to do is put the little Prince of Siam down to dry now, because when we work with such bold colours, we run the risk of overworking them. We don't want to overwork them. We want to put in just the right amount and then come back, saturated colours. So the next layers, we're talking about those reds down through here and those purples. That's where I'm going to go to next. But look, that plan might change. Although at the moment, that feels so right. And so let me swap this one over. I'm taking this one back to the car. I'm going to leave you guys here, and I'm going to bring back a work. I'm not sure which one I'm going to bring back yet, but there's 3 works in my car, and whichever one takes my fancy when I get over there is the one we're going to run with. Oh, thanks for the hearts and roses, guys. Appreciate you. Right, give me a moment. And yeah, little Prince of Siam. This is pretty fun. Uno momento. All right, here we go. What have we got? Hello. How's everyone's day today? Well, thanks, Lizzie. Appreciate you. Yeah, how was everyone's day? That's a good question. Here we go. If you're having a great day, I'm proud of you. If you're having a rough day, I'm rooting for you. And if you haven't quite decided yet, then grab a glass of water or a coffee and let's find out. Unless you've already had like 4 coffees, then just go for the water. I'm trying to cut back my coffee intake right now. Predominantly I do have more coffee than I think I need. So typically what I find though, so I wake up in the morning and I start with water, I feel better. I like to start the day with water because usually my first drink of the day when I have my coffee, it's not just because I want, like, it's just because normally I actually just want to drink when I wake up. And so I drink coffee. But if I have a glass of water when I wake up, the urge that I have for coffee is lessened. So, coffee. That's good. What kind of car do you drive, Seb? I feel like you're a... No, I'm not a Jeep guy. I'm not a Jeep. At the moment, I drive around a small little vehicle around the streets of Auckland. My favourite vehicle to drive is a Toyota Land Cruiser. I love those vehicles. Utility mixed with sexy. Big fan. And I like that song by, what's his name? It's, what's his name? Dirks Brinkley, I think. Bentley. Dirks Brinkley? I forget his name. The guy who sings I Hold On, it's just an old beat up truck, some say that I should trade up. Now that I got some jingle in my pocket. But what they don't understand is it's the miles that make a man. I wouldn't trade that thing in for a rocket. I like that philosophy, guys. He likes his truck. He can't be bought. I like that. You've got to have things that you'll never compromise on. I think that's really important. Things that you'll never let yourself be bought on. I think that's more important for you personally than it is for anyone else, philosophy or business strategy. You just need hills that you'll die on. For that guy in that country song, it's his truck. I'm not saying pick a truck, but I like that philosophy. That's the guy. That is the guy. Victoria, how do I get on? What are you after? Okay. It's just an old beat up truck. Some say that I should trade up now that I got some jingle in my pocket. But what they don't understand is it's the miles that make it. Man, I wouldn't trade that thing in for a rocket. And he wouldn't either. He's not trading that thing in for a rocket. And it was my dad and me. We drove it out to Tennessee. He's still here, now she's gone. I hold on to the things I believe in. My faith, your love, our freedom. Life's treating you well. I'm pleased for you. Relaxing, watching you paint. Thanks, Jay. Appreciate you. That's a fantastic and amazing thing to say, Jay. And I hope that you and anyone else who's here right now, life's treating you guys well as well. Because we all deserve it. I haven't had a big breakfast yet today, guys. I've only had a little, I need to eat more. I've been quite slack on my eating. You wake up and have a coffee and it curbs your appetite. You don't go back and eat more. So, you gotta make sure that you eat. Eating's important. And the other thing to do too is make sure you eat healthy foods. Especially as you enter your 30s and your 40s. Maybe you can get away with it in your early 20s. But healthy food's important. Sounds so cheesy, we're so used to hearing it that we get sick of it. But look, get your greens. Lots of vegetables. Good, healthy vegetables. We know these are good for us. Eat them up. Right, all white, let's go. Hello TX, how we doing? Thanks Jay Smith. This one's a wild one. We're just having fun with the colours. Just having fun with it. Letting them be wild. Not trying to tell this painting to be anything. It'll become something as it wants to. And if it never wants to become anything, good for it. Doesn't have to. This painting doesn't have a home. It doesn't need a home. It's just here to enjoy itself. And all we have to do, with a little deal that we've got running with this painting, all we have to do is enjoy the painting with it. We're not going to get annoyed at it. It doesn't look like how we want it to look. We're not going to get frustrated or change the plan if it's not coming together the way we want it to. We're just going to have fun. splashing around paint, loosening up, just enjoying it. You know what? Sometimes in that mind frame, that's when you make a real masterpiece. Because you're not judging yourself. You're not putting this anxiety and this bad energy, these negative vibes into the painting. You're just filling it with positivity in a way that it's infectious and contagious within the work. FYI, the subject matter is casting a shadow on the bottom corner. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Here we go. Sorry about that, guys. And JC, hello. Long time no see, JC. I hope you're looking after yourself. Thanks for the shiny air balloons, you absolute champion. JC, I saw recently, I was pretty impressed, you were in a helicopter. You do some crazy adventures, and I like your style. My father used to fly helicopters. So I've got a soft spot for helicopters. I've never had anything to do with them myself. I mean, I've been in a lot of helicopters, but I've never had anything to do with them, per se, to, you know, training or flying or anything. But look, I love them. So you're a champion in my eyes, mate. What are you painting now? This is a picture of, you'll have to help me out here. Is it Chang Bang? Victoria? I need your expert support on who we're painting. If Victoria's still here, otherwise she's run off for lunch. I really like this painting. I like all of them, but this one speaks to me. Oh, thanks, E. I think the fun thing about this one, and this is where Victoria's instinct has really popped here, because Victoria said, I really want you to paint this image. I'm interested to see this particular image in your style. And then the first thing I did when I started painting it, it was accidental, but sometimes your subconscious plays with you in that way that you can't quite, that things happen that you don't realise they were intentional. That we've got, I think his name's Chang Bang, I forget, but instead of him pulling out his shirt like he's doing in the picture, we've actually put his hand more towards his chin. And so he's pondering, almost like a Greek statue that Michelangelo would carve. And so we've got the old with the new. We've got an old school painting method with a new school subject matter and painting style, with a new character and pop icon with an old school Michelangelo sculpture. There's this beautiful old with the new contrast and beautiful harmony between the two occurring in this work. So for something that was supposed to be fun and light, there is these deeper undertones occurring in the work. English name, Chris. Yeah, so, and that was entirely accidental. So it's exciting that it's becoming that, because, and the key to actually making sure that flourishes is not getting too intense on it and just acknowledging that there could be some very funky, deeper meanings behind this painting, but not letting that control how the wilderness of your brushstrokes should be the main focus of this picture. That you should be, at any moment, willing to destroy the painting and ruin it in a single stroke in order to make the painting everything that it can be. You're like, no, don't destroy it. But you're like, if you don't risk it with every stroke, you'll never, ever make it what it needs to be. And if a painting is destroyed, heck, that's very similar to, you can't ever look at that and think, oh, I wish I hadn't done that. If you hadn't done that, you'd never have known. You've got to risk it for the biscuit. I like that saying, risk it for the biscuit. Here we go, just a little bit more through here. Got a bee hanging out here, but he's not bothering anyone. Just watch out for the wet paint, Mr. Bee. It's not toxic, so the bee will be fine. Is this the same painting from yesterday? We've got a mixture of paintings going on right now. We've got a good little mix of paintings, each one equally as fun. We've got this one, we've got a seal painting, we've got a wedding painting, which I haven't shown you guys yet. And we've got the little Prince of Siam, and we have the elephants, and we still have Santa Fe. Now Santa Fe and Hope have been returned to me from the framing outfit that I use, and he's a K-pop idol from the group Stray Kids, and I'm well, thanks. This is good. This is good. One of my best friends loves K-pop, absolutely loves it, and so she's been telling me about how you have, with K-pop bands, there's your weakness or your crush or your something, where it's the one that you like the most out of the group, and then yeah, it's funny because you could look at it and be like, oh, I don't like K-pop, but you're like, wait a minute, these characters are more popular than almost anything we've ever known. There's something occurring here and something phenomenal, and even if you don't like the music, that's okay, but learning about the culture of what's occurring there and falling in love with the occurrence that there could be something that you don't like or are not familiar with that could have a profound impact on you and that you could love simply because other people are having fun doing it. Be open to it. Be open to it. I think that's that's going to be the motto of today, and I'm posting that on Instagram later unless someone beats me to it. Be open to it. Because you know what, I sat there for a whole night and she showed me different K-pop songs and was like, this one's this one, and this guy means this, and he's doing this, and this guy does this, and you know what? If nothing else, I was so excited about her enthusiasm for it. It's called a bias. That's what it's called. And Chris is your bias. Fantastic. Yeah, a bias. So a bias is, yeah. So that was new to me. I got that all explained to me. It was very exciting. I think we should have art biases as well. If I had an art bias, it would be Van Gogh or Picasso. We should start doing that. We should start that right here, right now. Who's your art bias? Who's your art bias? I love it. That'd be so funny. The thing is, a huge proportion of the world will know exactly what you're talking about as well. And that's probably what I like most about it. A lot of people would be like, what do you mean my art bias? But there's a significant proportion of people that would be like, oh yeah, no, I got you. Van Gogh. Picasso. Michelangelo. Leonardo da Vinci. So probably Salvador Dali. I think Salvador Dali's philosophy towards art is becoming more predominant today. Have you thought about painting more waves? I love your take on them. Thank you so much. First off, appreciate you. Second off, yes, absolutely. So waves and reflections are definitely on the go. And I've got some very, very exciting plans. So I've been thinking about material because I've wanted to start a piece for me. So when I say a piece for me, I mean, it won't be a piece that goes, it might go for sale, but typically it's a piece that I choose the inspiration from. Well, you guys help me, but I use everything we've done so far to pick out an image and a material and a style and go, right, let's do a piece that can sum up the last 6 months in a way that this is where the style has been going, this is what I love, this is what's current, this is what's, you know, this is the piece, basically. And water and reflections definitely want to be in it. Similar to the style of Mahalo. And then what I also wanted to do was, instead of using a photo in the typical way that we have been, I wanted to actually, slow down there, cowboy. I wanted to actually get this, AI. So I've been talking with AI recently, a image generator tool, and telling it what sort of a picture I want. And we've been slowly working on it. And I've been telling it what sort of reflection I want and what sort of image that it needs to be. And the AI won't give me exactly what I'm after, but it's creating something far more beautiful. And so what I want to do is get the perfect image from the AI to paint. So I reckon that'll be really cool, because I think that's a really cool nod to the future, having AI develop the image that becomes the guiding image that we paint from. I like that. So we'll see. We'll see. And if I do start doing that, you can actually open up the account, and you can see the images that I'm making with AI as well. And from there, you can be like, oh, I see what he's trying to get, or I see what he's up to. Be quite fun. Seb's conversations with AI. Less reflection, more of this. Less that colour, more of this. Do this, do that. You'll see how demanding I am. Do you have the reference in colour or black and white? We're using the colour one for this one. We're using the colour one. Sometimes I tag onto the black and white one, Victoria, but not this time. I thought actually this time I want to use the colours look quite fun and they're pinks and blues. I thought actually I want to capture those pinks and blues correctly. We've thrown in a bit more warm colours than we expected, but that's been fun. That's okay. I'm not regretting that at all. Here we go. Just keep adding in. Woohoo! Come out there a little bit. Dabble that through there. Dabble that through there. Now we're talking to it. Bit more. Don't slow down, Sebastian. Lots more than you think. There we go. Too commonly, we either don't put enough in the background or put too much. Bit more energy through there. That's what we're after. Really embellish it. Don't be shy. And then we're going to grab a bit more of that blue. We're not going to slow down. We're going to capture it all up here. Right the way up to the top. Just like that. Give me some more through here. Give me some more down here. And then don't be afraid. We're going to grab this blue. We're going to creep the whole way through here. And just get some of those little highlights just in advance. Just let the work be wild. I'm not trying to tame this one, guys. I want to let this one be wild. We might get excited and bring it into kilter later on. But now is not later on. Now is the time for it to be crazy. Is it a painting of you, or did you just give the inspo? Great question, Lizzie. It's not a painting of Victoria, but this is Victoria's bias, which is a word that I've just been reacquainted with. There we go. There we are. Get more of that white. Let's have a look-see here. I'm going to grab a little bit of this colour and really thrash it into the face. I'm going to shy away from it. We're going to really add it in. There we go. Thick textures. There we go. Beautiful. That's exactly how we wanted it. More in the crown here. Much more in the crown. There we go. Not going to shy away from it up here either. And not going to shy away from it coming deeper into there. There we are. Scoop there. We're almost there, team. There we go. Ooh, we're going to grab a bit more of this yellow, this white actually, and just embellish a few of these. There we go. And then up here, grab this, mix in these colours, see what we can get out of it. Yeah, now we're talking. Keep it coming, keep it coming. Thick, loose, free paint. A little bit more through here. You do, Victoria, you absolutely do. So, one day. The old K-pop. I love it. I love that there's something out there that's more popular than anything that I listen to. Huge. It's so, and the budget's on it. The songs, the video clips, the everything. K-pop. There we go. I'm going to dive into a bit of blue add it all in there, make a murky green. Oh, fantastic. That is fantastic news, Steve. I'm so excited. I'm glad I caught that comment. That's fantastic. Give me oh my God. Aboriginals touchdown. Wow. Wow. Okay, now I'm smiling. These will look like oils. They're not. They are acrylics. And it's because of the gloss mediums and the transparent mediums and the everything that I'm adding through it. But Aboriginal has touched down in Phuket. Wow, guys. Man, that's some exciting news. That's so cool, Steve. That is so cool. The cool thing about Steve is he's the collector who currently is the first collector who owns art in Hawaii, and he's the first collector that owns art, the second collector in Phuket, I think. I've got to remember with Laos or Thailand. I'll need to check. I think you're the first collector in 2 different countries, Steve. And if you are, that's pretty fun. Yeah, sorry guys. I am on the shore by a yachting place at the moment. But if I see a link in my bio, and so yes, absolutely. If you're after any of the links, commissions, prints, other social media platforms, TikTok, Twitter, it's all there via the link in the bio, and I'd love to connect with you. There we go. We're going to pause there, guys. Here's my pellet. I've turned it to absolute porridge, and we've made some pretty cool steps on this work. This is in a fun place. I'm liking it. And you know what? We did some fantastic work on the little Prince of Siam and on this picture with only one plate and one brush. It wasn't intentional, but that's the way things have gone. Yesterday, I did a painting session and I used up 10 brushes and 5 plates, and I got half the amount of work done. So you never know. You never know. 3 paint. You're an absolute champion. You do indeed. Well, once the Prince of Siam is finished, of course, we will get there. What artists inspire you / your work? Honestly, guys, artists are fantastic. Similar to a sportsman being inspired by other sportsmen around the world to do their sport. But for me personally, it's not so much artists that inspire me to paint, it's other people doing amazing things. And I think that for me personally, I like paint because I can bring fulfillment, pleasure, and happiness into the world. And I know this is cheesy, but bear with me, into the world. And I feel like paint is the best medium for me to do that with. Now, had it been rugby or had it been hiking or had it been running that I could do it with as well, I'd do that. But with painting, I make myself really happy and I make others really happy. And so it's not so much other artists who inspire me as it is other people who see the art and feel fulfilled and then refill my cup through their inspiration. That's what inspires me. So that's what we get to. Anyway, I'm liking this one. This one's crazy, Victoria. It's all over the show. There's a lot going on in it. I've got very little control over this one, and I absolutely love it. Give away all my control and see where it takes me. Next time I come at this one, it's going to be with blacks, but transparent blacks. So we're going to highlight around this collar some more, down through this arm, and then some of the creases here in the shirt, and then the hair a little bit more. And then that's going to make, at the moment, the head sort of pops out at you. After that's happened, this is all going to really pull off the page. And the head's going to be there having its fun in its little abstract form, but then the rest of it's going to be like, hey, I'm here and I'm wild. So that's going to be fun. I'm liking this one, Victoria. Good shout. Thank you very much. Thanks, Victoria. Yes. So guys, I'm going to disappear now. Wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having a great day or a great night. Stay hydrated. I brought a water bottle out, but I forgot to refill it. So I'm going to go do that and get that sorted. But if you do want to connect more, all the links are in the bio. I'd love to hear from you. If you'd like a commission, I'm currently booked up until mid to late next month, and prints are available. There's only 2 there, and they're going quite fast, so leap in there. Mahalo's going fast. If you want one of those, go for gold. And yeah, all the best, guys. Time for Sid to grab some water, and I will see you all soon. Hopefully tomorrow. Oh, it will be tomorrow because I move into a new studio space. So more on that tomorrow, but super fast Wi-Fi and a beautiful air-conditioned room. I can't wait. We'll still do streams outside, but tomorrow's going to be a fresh, exciting day. Bye for now, guys. You're all amazing. Catch ya.